Race-based crimes against Asian Americans have been on the rise since the start of the pandemic and once again became front-page news this week after 8 women, mostly Asian, were shot and killed in Georgia. But the local Asian American community says attacks like this are unfortunately not surprising. As our Christina Laurie found out, discrimination against Asians, even here in Madison, is nothing new.
They assume that we're all good at math, stuff like that.
Jamie Hong has been shrugging off the stereotypes her entire life.
Don't do sports very good.
So has Patrick Liu.
They're like sneaky, cheap.
We're safe to be around, we're hardworking.
And Tori Miller.
Some of those are like, okay, like that's fine. But then there's the things of like that we don't speak English, or that like none of us speak English. We like to eat dogs. That's a big one, actually.
I asked all 3 Asian Madison-based business owners when was the last time they experienced racism.
Probably in like December when we were like having guests in here. There was just like one really strange guest that was saying like some like stereotypical stuff.
Jamie just laughed it off. Tori also used humor to shake this encounter last month.
A lady like came up really fast behind me and then like went around me and literally just yelled at me like, "You should go back to where you're from."
He was driving on Watts Road, Madison's west side.
She was like, "Go back to China." And I was like, "I'm from Racine." I've had that happen to me more than once in Madison where people tell me to go back to China.
Tori, Jamie, and Patrick agree that most of the time they do feel safe.
There's one moment that actually it's pretty harsh to us.
But Patrick is still visibly shaken by a verbal attack that happened 2 years ago in Milwaukee.
They just shout to us like, "Go back to your country. This is not like your place."
Patrick and his wife were leaving a Bucks game when kids started shouting at them.
That's the part that hurts me most. It's like the younger generation, they are like affected by some of the public figures.
He'd seen this kind of hate before.
On the internet, it's like free war.
But never experienced it. So publicly, calling it reminiscent of racist taunts heard on the playground. The ones Jamie has been shrugging off since she was 4.
They like called me names or called me flat face or like assumed that I was always they would be like, "Are you Chinese or Japanese?" Or like, there's no other race like ethnicities besides those 2.
And we will be continuing this very important conversation in the days ahead here on News 3. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to talk about the disproportionate economic struggles that Asian American business owners face here in Madison, and the one thing that you can do this week to show your support. Reporting in Madison for News 3 Now, I'm Christina Laurie.